It's yet another beautiful Sunday evening. Good evening and welcome to Iron Port here on Metropolitan Television. Iron Port is proudly brought to you by the Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority, Ghana Revenue Authority, Goyle Company Limited, Serene Insurance, and Ghana Link Network Services, the operators of the Integrated Customs Management System at the ports. We're also streaming live on our social media handles. On Facebook, you can watch us at Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority, GPHA Ghana, Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority, GPHA Ghana. On YouTube, we are at Iron Port Ghana. Iron Port Ghana. Now, our media partner on this journey is the Business and Financial Times, the BNFT. If you want to have a grasp of all that transpired on the show tonight, make a date and grab the Thursday edition of the BNFT, and you'll be able to peruse and see all that transpired here on the show tonight. We're going to be getting interactive with you, and you can send us your messages ahead of the show and through our WhatsApp line, which is 0559 019177, and along the line we shall also activate our phone lines for you to call in and contribute to our discussion tonight. My name is Kennedy Mona. We'll be back shortly.
Goyle makes good things happen. This time, Goyle has introduced Super XP Ron 95, a higher grade fuel loaded with additives and yet sold at the same price as normal fuel. Goyle Super XP Ron 95 enhances engine performance like never before. It maintains the engine by keeping it clean from carbon deposits. Goyle Super XP Ron 95 is designed to burn slowly and thus improves fuel economy, making you save money after several kilometers. Goyle Super XP Ron 95 gives you a smooth driving experience, that is, less vibrations. Fill up with Goyle Super XP Ron 95. Now there's no need to pay more for any higher grade fuel. Goyle has that sorted. Goyle, good energy.
Electricity, pay your taxes. Our taxes, our future.
Because you see, without our taxes, we wouldn't have good roads, good schools, better hospitals, streetlights, and other very important social amenities. When we pay our taxes, we give our children free and quality education. Talga, my money too small. Why should I pay my tax? Look, small. Salifo, it doesn't matter how small or big your business or income is. You still have to pay your taxes. The little taxes from each and every one of us, when put together, could give your community clean water or that deprived school with tables and chairs. Please pay your taxes. It is your responsibility. It is your civic duty. It is the law.
It's time for us to take a look at some happenings in the port and maritime industry in the course of the week. And the Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority Governing Board was inaugurated by the Transport Minister in the course of the week. Plus the fact that the Ghana Maritime Authority plus other stakeholders came together to celebrate World Maritime Day in the course of the week. It fell on the 21st of this month, 31st of this month.
Ghana has joined the rest of the world to commemorate the 2021 World Maritime Day with a focus on improving the welfare of seafarers who are at the core of shipping's future. The World Maritime Day is held annually to recognize and celebrate the contribution of local and international maritime industries towards the economy, especially shipping. This year, the day seeks to highlight the invaluable role and contribution of seafarers within the global maritime supply chain. The Director General of the Ghana Maritime Authority, Thomas Kofi Alonsi, called for a support system for seafarers in order to make them better off.
In order to fight against the age-long problem of poverty among seafarers, the authority requires that Ghanaian ship owners or agents pay social security contributions and pension funds of Ghanaian seafarers to ensure a dignified retirement after serving at sea in humility.
The Minister of Transport, Kwaku Foresiama, in a speech read on his behalf by one of his deputies, stated that seafarers have the right to go ashore and there should be no discrimination in whatever form.
The issue of shore lease has been of concern for the international maritime community, and this has been heightened with restrictions imposed by countries during COVID-19 pandemic. I wish to place on record that seafarers have the right to go ashore while the ship on which they arrive is in port, and there should be no discrimination on grounds of nationality.
He said, while some progress has been made to suppress piracy, armed robbery, and other illicit maritime activities, seafarers are urged to remain vigilant when navigating through the Gulf of Guinea.
Government is particularly concerned about the number of incidents of piracy and armed robbery in the Gulf of Guinea, especially about the increase in the number of incidents involving kidnapping of crew. Ghana, in the process of finalizing harmonized standards, operating procedures for coordinating efforts of maritime law enforcement agencies at the sea for quicker and coordinated response.
The Minister of Transport, Kwaku Foresiama, has sworn in an 11-member board for the Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority. Former Member of Parliament, Chief Executive Officer of Ghana Cocoa Board, and Managing Director of Tema Oil Refinery, Isaac Osei, will lead the group as board chairman. Other members include Michael Logoje, the Director General of GPHA, Sandro Opoku, Director of Port Tema, Captain Ebenezer Feiti, Director of Port Takrade, Mabel Sego, the Chief Director of the Ministry of Transport, Benonetta Bismarck, the Chief Executive Officer of Ghana Shippers Authority, Clement Osaya Mwakon, President of the Ghana Chamber of Commerce and Industry, Adam Moro Ayana, an executive member of the Ship Owners and Agents Association Ghana, Engineer Dr. Michael Ajay Anyete, Ghana Railway Company Limited, Francisca Oting Mensah, a member of Parliament, and Samuel Ahin, an employee's representative. Speaking at the inaugural ceremony, the Minister of Transport urged the board members to strengthen collaborations that would enhance corporate governance of the state-owned enterprise.
So whatever it takes for us to work together, please let us do so. As a ministry, we are here to support you. We will not be mingling with the operational activities of agencies. That is not our style. We don't do so. But we also not compromise on the policy on the policy direction.
He called on the new board chairman Isaac Osei to bring his vast experience to bear in the advancement of the Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority. The board chairman in turn assured of his unwavering commitment to ensuring that the policy direction for the sector is fully implemented at GPHA.
Let me assure you on behalf of the board that we take your comments quite seriously and be working with you to ensure that the policy direction which government wants us to follow will be followed very, very closely.
A roundtable discussion on the axle load policy implementation has been held by key players in the transit trade in Ghana. Hosted by the Ghana Shippers Authority, the forum brought together representatives from the Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority, the Ghana Highway Authority, National Security, Customs, the Motor Traffic and Transport Department of the Ghana Police Service, the Joint Association of Port Transport Unions, and representatives from the Shippers Council of the Sahelian countries. Call in the agenda was to fish out some of the bottlenecks hindering the successful implementation of the policy, which seeks to promote safe and sustainable carriage of transit cargo through Ghana, as well as find solutions to them. This comes at the back of some apprehension by stakeholders within the transit trade as well as regular civilians on the abuse of the Ghanaian road corridors by individuals and syndicates, which has even led to some arrests in the recent past. The CEO of the Ghana Shippers Authority, Benonetta Bismarck, in a speech read on her behalf, listed some complaints that has come to the attention of her outfit from the trading community in association with the axle load program.
The use of faulty and inaccurate axle weighing scales. 2. Possible tampering with axle load weighing scales by some axle weigh station personnel. 3. Non-adherence to protocols at the axle weighing stations. 4. Cargo agents conspiring with some personnel of axle weighing to manipulate the system. collusion and exchange of illicit payments among drivers, cargo owners to agents, security officers in order to evade axle weighing scales.
The axle load manager at the Ghana Highway Authority, Faustina Opon-Yeboah, admitted to corruption by some members of her outfit and transporters of goods in circumventing the system, hence called for tightened measures that will nip the menace in the bud.
So a few recommendations will be to increase education and sensitization of stakeholders, upgrade of the weighing system, enhance electronic surveillance, and then increase training of our personnel at the stations.
Chairman of the program, Ziad Amui, who is the national president of Borderless Alliance, a private sector-led advocacy group, called for an accurate diagnosis and action plan that would curb the existing menace to enhance the transit trade without compromising security and safety.
Today, I am confident that by the end of this meeting, we will manage to successfully diagnose our many challenges and come up with a clear action plan to resolve these challenges through a comprehensive, honest, and professional dialogue, which will help us enhance the movement of commercial goods and economic operators in the country, without compromising on the security of our corridors or the quality of our road infrastructure.
All right, so those were some local stories in the course of the week. And indeed, the Maritime Authority World Maritime Day was actually celebrated on Thursday, 30th of September. Thursday, 30th of September. It's now time for us to take a look at what's happening on the international front.
Greece's parliament has approved a new contract that allows Chinese state-owned shipping giant COSCO to buy an additional 16% stake in the Piraeus Port Authority, taking its total share of ownership to 67%. In the original deal that COSCO reached with the Greek government in 2016, the terminal operator committed to invest a total of $340 million into the port's infrastructure by 2021. In exchange, it received the right to buy the additional stake out of escrow for an agreed price of about $100 million. However, COSCO has not come close to achieving its investment commitment, and its leaders have put the blame on local opposition. Piraeus is the epicenter of the Greek shipping industry, and COSCO's plans for a new cruise terminal in the neighborhood are not universally popular. The costly terminal project became ensnared in litigation, and it came to a halt shortly after it first broke ground. Long-term ocean freight rates have nearly doubled from a year ago and are continuing their steady rise. In a new analysis of the market, Zeneta, an ocean and air freight rate benchmarking and market intelligence platform, reports there is little evidence to suggest a weakening of market fundamentals in the near term. Zeneta CEO Patrick Berglund explained that, and I quote, "This year has seen a unique convergence of COVID-19 disruption, port congestion, strong demand, and maxed out capacity, and that has stoked the flames of record-breaking rates. The global supply chain is under immense pressure, and desperate shippers have no choice but to pay up to secure deliveries, or at least try to, ahead of key trading periods such as Christmas. It's a crazy market out there," unquote. Zeneta's long-term XSI public indices reported yet another monthly hike in long-term ocean freight rates, with global container prices climbing by 3.2% in September. This follows a 2.2% increase in August and an unprecedented 28% jump in July. Year over year, rates are now up 91.5% overall, with some markets showing even larger increases.
So those were some international stories. And indeed, we're all aware that the month of October is the pink month, and the International Maritime Hospital says we should inform you that they wish you a super celebration. This is the month where women take issues of breast cancer and cervical cancer seriously. And they say their doors are open 24/7. You can walk in there for your screening and checkups and all that. They'll have a very special message for you in our subsequent programs and shows here on Eye on Port. Now it's time for us to zoom into our discussion proper tonight. And tonight we are discussing uncustomed vehicles. Uncustomed vehicles. What's an uncustomed vehicle? You find thousands of people on the streets driving vehicles, some with Togolese registration, others with, Nigerian registration, others with Burkina Faso, Cote d'Ivoire, and all that. And you have some others who have documents which are not actually the, right documents that they should have. Some are right, and they tell you every quarter, every 3 months, they have to go and then renew and all that. Now, how do you acquire an uncustomed vehicle, and how do you own it? Sometimes people buy some of these vehicles without even knowing that they are uncustomed. They only get to the point of registration and realize that, no, there's trouble with this particular vehicle. So tonight we are going to unpack all the mystery surrounding these uncustomed vehicles, what they are and what you need to do if you are fallen victim, or what if you own one, so that you can get a peace of mind you need to enjoy your car. And so tonight we have invited Mr. Justice Njoman Magayajayim, who is a supervisor at the Vehicle Valuation Unit at the Customs Technical Services Bureau at the Customs Headquarters, to help us, unravel the mystery surrounding uncustomed vehicles in our country. Thank you very much, sir, for joining us, and good evening.
Good evening.
We are glad to have you once again.
Thank you.
Let me begin with a very basic question. What's an uncustomed vehicle?
In customs, we have two ways of looking at it. That's according to our law. One, a vehicle on which the full duties have not been paid. That's one aspect of it.
Okay. If the full duties have not been paid?
Have not been paid.
Okay.
And then two, we are looking at the aspect where a vehicle has either been imported or exported, or dealt with in ways that are contrary to the customs law. So these are the two ways of looking at it. One, the reason why they say vehicle on which the full duties have due on it have not been paid. That, for instance, it may have been worked on, but there may have been lapses along the line. So if at any point it is detected that maybe the age that was used to do the calculation was wrong, it has to be rectified.
Okay.
Maybe the value, the engine capacity. So things can change. Somebody can detect something along the line. So that is an aspect of it. Then when you decide to import a vehicle or export it, or you deal with it in a way that is contrary to customs law, we have smuggling, which is against customs law, is against it. So if you are able to do it through unapproved route, and you are arrested, it's an offense. So these are the ways we look at uncustomed vehicles. So if you have a vehicle in your possession and you know that you have not actually gone through customs to have the vehicle, then it means an offense.
Right.
So that's why most of them will be hiding the vehicles until they are arrested. So basically that's how uncustomed vehicles are looked at.
Right. So I have a car and I see my colleague Larry driving a beautiful car. He wants to dispose of it. I am interested, I get it. And I don't perhaps get all the requisite documents. Sometimes, in some instances, people give fake documents. People give fake documents. And then I am on the street cruising, with some good Dead Lumba music in the background, nodding my head and then freezing my AC, and I'm accustomed, I'm accosted in the middle of the road, to provide documents and all that, and I find myself sweating in an air conditioner. How do these things happen?
Okay. As somebody who wants to own a property, every property, not only vehicle, you need to check the authenticity of the document, whether the owner has the right to transfer title to you. So if somebody is having a vehicle and you are buying it and you want to be sure, you need to come to customs to ensure that actually the person has gone through customs. It has been properly cleared and duties paid. But most of them, they don't do that. By some means, people are able to convince them, and then they buy without checking. So, as an advice, if you want to buy a vehicle, the best thing is to authenticate the document with customs. You go with the documents and the vehicle to customs, and then it will be confirmed as to whether duties have been paid or not. Yes. So these are the ways to be sure of it. Previously, we had a a short code on GCNet, which they are developing. ICOM just came, so they are trying to develop a smaller thing where you can, in the comfort of your home, just enter the chassis number with a short code and to give you everything, including who imported it, the duties that were paid, the declaration number, and all. So that will be done. We are in the process of getting that done to make things easier for the public. But for now, as it is, you just have to come to customs and then authenticate the documents.
Right. So first thing you have to look out for if you are a prospective vehicle buyer is to ensure that you take the documents of the vehicle. The owner, the one that is selling the vehicle to you, endeavor to go with the person with the documents to customs and let them ascertain whether indeed the documents are genuine before they give you the green light to go ahead and purchase the vehicle. Now, what would you say accounts for the influx, so to speak, of uncustomed vehicles in our country?
Uncustomed vehicles, there are two ways of looking at it. We have the illegal basis, which begin from the scratch, and the legal basis. Illegal in the sense that somebody goes to Togo, he thinks that vehicles are cheaper there. He buys a vehicle, and he's able to. Our borders are porous. Nobody denies that. Yes, they are able to find their way into the country through unapproved route. In Ghana, we have 4 being legal means of importation.
Can you walk us through them?
We have through the seaports.
Okay.
That's Tema, Takoradi. Yes. We have through the airport. People bring vehicles through the airport. Yes. And then through the frontier stations.
When you say frontier stations?
Yes. Frontier, you see, I saw that you mentioned borders.
Yes.
In Kasa, if you say borders, it includes the seaport.
Okay.
It includes the airport.
Okay.
It's not only the frontier.
Okay.
It includes the frontier.
Okay.
So if you say borders in customs, it takes account of all these entry points.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
But if you want to be specific, let's say frontier.
Frontier. Okay.
The frontier station, yes.
Okay.
Aplao, you have Hamley, you have Paga.
Yes.
Kwamse, Krum, all those other areas,
yes,
they are the frontier stations. Okay. So you know how we live in Africa. Most of the time, families, some have houses at the other side.
Absolutely.
They're able to cross easily.
The other day, I interviewed someone, and the fellow said sometimes, if you even want to reach a community, a Ghanaian community, in, say, Togo, you have to go to Togo and then come back before you're able to access such communities.
So it's so easy for people to cross, whether during daytime or nighttime. So they're able to get some of these people to access them, to cross them. It's the reason why the task force goes nationwide, move from one place to other, to ensure that such things don't happen. Through the legal means, you know, the ECOWAS protocol, which permits of free movement of persons and goods, which came into effect in 29th May 1979. Yes. This protocol has 3 rights. One.
Before you come to the 3 protocols, let's go back to the various means of import. You said there were 4.
Yes.
Seaport, airport, frontier, and
then through the post.
Through the post. Okay, okay, sure. All right, okay. All right, so let's go to...
Yes, so this protocol gives all member countries, citizens of member countries of ECOWAS, 3 rights. The right of entry and abolition of visas.
Okay.
And then we have the rights of residence and the rights of establishment.
Right.
So with this protocol, Ghana has ratified this protocol. So in implementing, you cannot deny anybody from entering. And this same protocol entitles citizens, when they are moving to any other member state, to go in their vehicles. So we have the private vehicle category who are entitled to 90 days, and then we have the commercial vehicles, which are entitled to 15 days.
Right.
But our laws permit that when you exhaust, depending on whatever reason you came in, you go for extension.
Okay.
So you go formally with an application to the commissioner, and then if they deem it fit that the reason you have assigned is okay, then you are granted an extension.
Right.
So people using this legal means, some use it genuinely, others don't. So for some of the people, they don't want to go through the illegal means, so they go through the legal means and end up in illegality.
Yeah.
So when they come and it's exhausted, some of them will try to scan documents, either they scan the chassis number of the vehicle, or definitely they will look for a declaration which went through the system.
Exactly.
And then they will scan the chassis number, the details they want on it.
Yeah.
So if you are buying from them and you don't check from customs, you end up buying the wrong item, vehicle. Yes. So people will have to look out for that. So these are the ways that they do it. Others go through this transit regime, and along the line they divert them. Yes. So we are aware of all these loopholes which customs have been working on to plug.
Right.
Yes.
Okay. So I want to find out from you how you are able to detect, these uncustomed vehicles.
Yes. So with those who come in with legal means, it's easier. What happens is the temporary vehicle importation management, there's a system on it used to be on GCNet. It's the same thing which has been put on the ICOMs.
Yes.
So they are able to pull out all those vehicles which came, let's say, which passed through a flower. This time it's easier to do it. Usually when things happen, you learn from it.
Yeah.
The previous system couldn't do that, but now you can do it by each frontal page.
Right.
So if vehicles that came through Paga, you want all vehicles which came through, you can pull out all those things.
Yeah.
And you can check those which have exited and those which have not. So when that is done, the list is given to the task force. We have the preventive unit.
Yeah.
The preventive unit is the enforcement unit. So what they do is that they look out for those vehicles and then they pick them.
Okay.
First we're using at the airport yard. Yeah. Now we have a new yard at Tema just around DVL, yes, which is bigger. So if you go there, you find a lot of vehicles.
Yes.
So these are the vehicles which have been picked.
Right.
So the task force, what they do, they have two systems. One is able to detect those that they have tampered with the chassis numbers.
Okay.
Usually some of them will bring them in, and then they see that one other vehicle with a similar charge, maybe one figure is different. So they are able to change, tamper with that particular one.
Tight, yeah.
Usually it's the age. Usually, most of them from Togo, they are overage vehicles.
Yes.
So they will usually tamper with the age. And then the serial numbers.
Right.
To conform to what they know has been genuinely cleared through customs.
Right.
And then they will do their documents to cover. They will not go to DVLA.
Okay.
Because they know this particular one, the one they are using the detail has been properly registered at DVLA.
Right.
So they will then alterate this one.
Yeah.
And then it will conform with what they want to have. And then they sell it to somebody. So people will have to, our laws, if you look at the law, section 123 and 124, it looks at forgery. If you forge any document in customs, it's an offense.
Yeah.
It's a serious offense,
right,
which has its consequences. And then the 124 is looking at those who smuggle. So they will have to look at that, and then if they have any vehicle they think they want to use it in Ghana, the processes are there for them to go to apply to Customs Commissioner, and then if it's allowed, you pay the duty, then you properly clear it and then you use it.
Right.
Yes.
Right. Okay, so you mentioned the fact that they would look for a vehicle which has been properly cleared,
yes,
from customs, and then, alter their documents to be like that same one.
Yes.
You use the same numbers.
Yes.
Don't you smell some element of connivance with inside elements, if you want? No.
You see, what happens is that most of the people who do that are people who deal in vehicles. They also import vehicles through Tema and from Takoradi. So they have the declarations. This one, they don't need to deal with anybody. They have the declaration.
Right.
He has brought in a vehicle, and then he knows that this vehicle is covered by customs document.
Yes.
So he goes to alterate the details on this document to conform to what he wants to have. Because they know sometimes they will always find someone to sell it to. You see, because sometimes when Ghanaians are buying, they don't take their time to check whether it has been genuinely processed through customs.
Absolutely.
Yes.
All right. Yes.
So I for official connivance, no.
Okay.
I don't.
All right. Okay. So tell us. You mentioned twice the task force.
Yes.
What task force are you talking about? Is it the task force that accost vehicles?
Yes.
That are on the lookout for these uncustomed vehicles.
Yes.
Yes.
The task force is part of the preventive unit. So their job is to go around the country and then pick those vehicles. And they have two set of systems which they work with.
Right.
One, they are able to enter the chassis number and determine whether the chassis number has been tampered with. The second system is a data warehouse which they carry. So it's basically what we have in ICOMS. Everything is on it.
Right.
So if they check the chassis number and then it has not been tampered, it's genuine chassis number, the next thing is to check from the data warehouse whether the duty has been paid on it.
Yes.
So with this new system, it's so easy. Very, very easy. You can just enter the chassis number and then it will give you the declaration number, the importer details, everything. If you want to go further, you just pick the declaration number and then you put it and then it can open up to the manifest, everything for you. So if he enters the chassis number and nothing comes, it means it has not been paid. Yes, there's no detail on it. Duty has not been paid.
Right.
Yes.
So what's their mandate like? Are they spread across the country?
No, usually these things, you do it with a bit of intelligence. If you spread it all around the country, every unit has, it will not work. Every place there's a preventive unit.
All right.
Every custom station has a preventive unit. But with respect to the task force that looks at vehicles, they are always from head office.
Right.
So their movement, you don't know when they will move
sure.
to one place. Yes, so it's done with a bit of intelligence. That's why it's always from head office.
Yes.
So they determine that, the next one will be in Tamale.
Yes.
Even when they get there, people get to know, they hide their vehicle, they don't come out. You see that most streets in Tamale will be free that day. And you can easily run through the town.
Yes.
So that's what happened. So assuming if they were there, it will be difficult.
Yeah.
Even from other places where they get there unannounced, it's difficult. People who are able to get wing of it and then they hide their vehicles. Yes.
All right. So you mentioned the new park that you have, in the Tema enclave where some of these vehicles have been taken. Does that mean that if I am accosted for, driving an unlicensed vehicle, an uncustomed vehicle, I'm going to forfeit it? You are going to seize it?
It's an offense in the first place to have an uncustomed vehicle with you.
Yeah.
So when the vehicle is arrested, per our law, it's supposed to be seized.
Yeah.
That's the 124. Section 124 of Customs Act 891. Yes, it's supposed to be seized. Right. That's the first thing. But when the vehicle is seized, that's then the end of the story.
Okay.
What you can do as the owner is to apply to customs within 30 days. So you have a 30-day duration to apply for restoration. When that is granted, commissioner grants the restoration, then you pay the duty on it and then pay a penalty.
Right.
So you pay the duty with the penalty, then you go away with your vehicle for registration. Yes.
So it means that once you accost me and you take me to you collect the keys and go and park it in your yard, I will now have to initiate steps to write to the commissioner.
Yes.
To pardon me, sort of.
Yes.
And then I take steps to raise the duty.
Yes.
That would be a difficult thing to do because I know, like you said, most of these vehicles that come in are overaged.
Yes.
And so, first of all, you are going to pay the duty. Number two, you are going to pay a penalty on the age of the vehicle, which will be so much.
Okay, that's the position of the law.
Absolutely.
The position of the law is that you don't commit an offense without a penalty. Absolutely. Usually, these penalties are instituted to ensure that next time you don't go doing such things. Yeah. So you need to feel it and know that next time when you have a vehicle, and then you have to pay the duties on it. Yeah. You don't do otherwise. So the penalties as they are is per the law. And I think the framers of the law looked at how some of this, to stop some of this, because when you know the implications of it, you might not go into it. But others there go, yes, others there go into those areas, and then they are found. It's not everyone. Those who abide by the law, they get through and they don't incur some of these penalties. But for those who want to test the law, they will have to also pay some penalty for testing the law. Yes, so that's the position of the law.
Right. Yeah. Now, you mentioned the porous nature of our borders, and which is one of the reasons why people are able to smuggle these vehicles. Apart from that, what are some of the reasons why you think that people take advantage, to smuggle vehicles into the country?
The main reason is that nobody wants to pay tax. When it comes, because people don't see the immediate reward of paying the tax. So as much as possible, when people have vehicles, they want as much as possible to go with zero, duty zero, not paying anything at all. Yes. So for those who want to abide by the law, even though they know they don't see any immediate benefit, even though government uses those things, the money to construct roads, build infrastructure, and do so many other things, they don't see it. Yeah. But others who are law-abiding, they pay and then they go. But for some category of people who want to make it a business, it's usually those who make it a business to make money out of it. Yeah. So in order to make so much profit out of it, they don't want to pay the tax on it, knowing that they will definitely get some people who don't know what goes on in terms of the law and in terms of customs clearance to buy those vehicles, and they make their money. They don't care what happens to you. Some of them, when they even fall victim to some of these things, after buying it from people, they call and they don't pick. Yes, they don't pick their calls. So they are forced to go through the hardship to get the vehicles given back to them. Yes. So for the 30 days period, if you don't come, then it is converted to forfeiture. Right. That's when processes are initiated to get it auctioned and all. Yes. So it's always 30 days. 30 days, 30 days. You initiate, as somebody who is interested in the vehicle, you initiate the processes to get it restored. Yes. All right. So you just mentioned auction. So if you confiscate an uncustomed vehicle and the owner doesn't come for it, and it goes onto the uncleared cargo list, or it goes to auction, and I happen to buy it, how do I regularize the documentation? Auction is so easy. Auction, you are given the slip to go and pay. When you pay, you are given a letter covering that. So the letter gives your name. Your name is there, that you are the one the vehicle has been auctioned to, the amount it was auctioned to you, the vehicle details are there. So you get an agent, and agents you cannot do without them when it comes to customs. Because they have access to the system. By getting the letter, that's not the end of it. You need to pass it through customs. So they go through the icons and then get it, the BOE processed, and it's the BOE that you take to DVLA for registration. So when you get the letter, that's not the end of the story. You go through the system, and then when it is accepted, you go to the bank. This time it's so easy. You can even pay without giving the money to the agent. You can just take the tax bill, send it to your banker if you have an RM, or if you work there yourself, they will pay. When is your RM? The rep in the bank. Okay. Yes. Okay. Usually they assign some to them to handle their issues. So if you send it to the person, they can pay it, and then it will reflect in the system. You even get an alert. It is your account. Right. You will get an alert from the bank, and then when that happens, the agent will continue with the other processes by paying. If it was under safe bond, they have some charges they will pay. If it was under Golden Jubilee, that's GPHA, you have some charges you pay to GPHA, and when you finish, take your vehicle away. Yes. Right. So if I happen to buy such an auction vehicle, am I going to pay the exact duty that the original owner was supposed to pay? No. With the auction assessment, usually what happens is that most of these vehicles may have deteriorated, Sometimes they leave them there for a while, and then they deteriorate. So if you want to look at some of the amounts on it, because usually people leave them because of the overage component.
Absolutely.
Most of them, you can say 99%.
It's because
they are either right-hand driven vehicles from UK or they are overage vehicles. If you go and you see them, yes, you realize that no, this car is not worth the amount. So that's why most of them, they leave them. Right. But we do the assessment based on the law. So when the law says we should do it A, B, C, D, you cannot just look at your vehicle and say that, oh, this vehicle, the age is so much and it's not worth the duty. We cannot determine that. We do the assessment. Then you, the owner, you determine what to do with it, whether you pay the duty or you leave it to government. And when you leave it to government will have to dispose of it because, one, revenue is locked in it. So they have to unlock the revenue. And then, two, the port, the place they park the vehicle, at least it has to move and create space for other vehicles. Because more will be coming in.
Absolutely.
So it has to be disposed of. And sometimes in order that you don't just leave them to go waste. Yes, you need to get them auction and then you get the money to do other things.
And
the government will get it, to do other things. So these are the reasons why the government will have to dispose of them and then through customs they are disposed of and then the necessary revenue is got from it for usage.
Now, what would you say to those who tend to believe that, yes, they say Togo is a free port, and so, vehicles are very cheap there, and that's why they opt to go there. And they also smuggle the vehicles into the country because they say the duties in our ports, the duties are very, high.
No, you see, the reason why most of them, they say the vehicles are cheaper in Togo. When the vehicle gets to the free port, they have not paid any tax on it to the Togo government. So when you go into the free port to buy, that's why it's a free port. It's duty free. In the free port, it's duty free. It's just like somebody drops his vehicle in Tema port, and the vehicle is meant for Niger. He doesn't pay duty on it.
Right.
So he takes the vehicle through transit, through our corridor, and then it exits. It's the same way that is operated in Togo, where all those vehicles who come to the free port, taxes are not exacted on them. So they don't pay the duty on it. And what we have to know by now is that as people who deal with vehicles, most of those vehicles they claim they are cheaper in the free port are vehicles which are already overage. And for overage vehicles, they are cheaper. Even where they bought them from, they were cheaper. You see? So when he comes to sell it in the free port, definitely to be cheaper because he bought it cheaper where it came from. Whether it came from Belgium, came from Germany or wherever, it was cheaper. Because most of these overage vehicles, they were, some of them may have been even penciled for crashing. They crash the metal and then use it to do other things. So they are sold to people very cheap, and then when they get to Togo, they go and buy them very cheap. At the end of the day, when you get to Ghana, then you realize that what you bought was too much. Because it's overage. When the overage penalty is exacted, you compare and you see that sometimes the overage penalty is even more than the duty. Taking the VAT, import duty, to put together, and then compared to the overage. It's so huge. So that is a disincentive to move ahead to say, oh, they are going to customs to go and pay, because he knows that the amount of duty plus the penalty, the vehicle is not worth it. So he finds other means of using them until he's arrested. Yes. So that's the reason. The vehicles are cheap. They are overage vehicles. And maybe I can tell them what overage. If you are going to buy a vehicle from Togo, and then the vehicle, the age is more than 10 years, you should know that you definitely have to pay overage penalty. As it stands now, every vehicle that is 2010 is overage. So you have 2010, 2009, 2008,
they are all
now they are all overage. And the vehicles have been categorized into three. So you have the motor cars, which are what we use, the small cars, saloon cars, the SUVs, you have the wagons. If the vehicle is more than 10, more than 10 years.
Yes.
So it means 11, 12 years. You pay 5% import duty, or VAE penalty.
Right.
And then if it's 13, 14, 15, you are paying 20%. If it is from 16 years up to 25 years, you are paying 50%. If it's from 26 years up to 35, you are paying 70%.
Wow.
If it's beyond 35 years, then you are
100%.
paying 100%.
Yeah.
You see, so when you are bringing, you should know the implications of what you are bringing. If it is a van, bus, or coach, you have, for those which are 10 years, 11 years, that's 2000, and you have the one that is 2009, 10 and 2009. For the 2 years you are paying, you are going to pay for a van 2.5%. But if it is 13, 14, 15 years, you are paying 10%. It's beyond that, which is from 16 years up to 20 years, you are going to pay 20%.
Right.
It's beyond, that's from 21 years. From 20 years, if it's beyond 20 years, 21 up to 25 years, you are paying 50%.
Yeah.
That one ends there.
Yeah.
Beyond the 25 years, the commissioner can either authorize you to clear it or it to be seized.
Right.
Then when you come to the trucks, with the trucks, if it is more than 10 years, that's 11 and 12 years, you pay 5%. It's from 13 years up to 22 years, you pay 10%. It's beyond 22 years, pay 30%.
Right.
So the override penalties have been categorized. So for those who are interested in the vehicles from Togo, when you are going to buy, you should know the implications, because most of the vehicles you buy from Togo are overaged.
Right.
That's why they are cheaper.
All right. So sometimes you find vintage cars in town. These are cars, somebody say, okay, this car was manufactured in 1959, is Rolls Royce, and then somebody goes to buy it and bring it. And when they buy it, I understand now it's even very expensive over there. How are you able to calculate the duties for the person? It means that these people are headed for 100% penalties?
Yes, even their case is worse, because usually we will demand for an invoice. Because these are vehicles that we categorize them at antique. So when they buy them, what they do is that they will change the engine.
Okay.
They will change the air conditioning system. So if you see it, and then you enter, you see that it's the same that is in maybe 2020 Bentley.
Yeah.
The air conditioning, everything inside has been changed.
Yeah.
The only difference that you see from outside to be an older car.
Absolutely.
So what we do is that we demand for the invoices because we know they are very expensive.
Right.
So we use the invoice with our depreciation, with our discount. And then the overage will be slapped on you.
Wow.
Yes. And they pay, because most of the people who bring them are people who can pay. So
Absolutely.
yes, they bring for the fun of it. So
Yes.
I've
seen quite a number of them in town, and they are always a sight to behold.
Yes,
Yes, very nice. Okay, so with all this, what is Customs doing to stem the tide of uncustomed vehicles in our society?
Okay, one is using our system as I explained. One, the system has been configured to look at those who come in through legal means and they don't return, because the issue of the TVI, the temporary vehicle importation system, it says that the vehicle has to start its journey from outside and then end up outside. So it comes into Ghana from outside, maybe from Nigeria, and it has to end up in Nigeria. So if this cycle is broken, they are able to pull it out.
Right.
And then we'll look at it. Two, Customs, we have this task force which I've talked about. They also go around countrywide. They go everywhere, and then wherever they find the vehicles, they pick them, issue the seizure notice, and then deposit them at the yard. Some of them are even in Takoradi. One time when they go to Takoradi, they leave them there at the customs yard. But subsequently, they are processed for auction. Those who don't go for them, they process them for auction.
Right.
And then we try to do sensitization, sensitize our stakeholders, and then even the Customs Day, the World Customs Day, 27th, yes. we always use that opportunity to encourage taxpayers, those who have not paid taxes, who have vehicles that they have not paid taxes on them, to come and then regularize the documents. Yeah. And then when you customs, you go to GRA, the website, that is gra.gov.gh. Yes, everything at that vehicle, this overhead penalty, everything is there. Just go there, Google, and then you will find all the. If you want to go and buy a vehicle, you want to know the taxes that you have to pay on it. You will get a percentage, not the absolute amount. Right. You get the percentages there.
So when you can either be less or more.
Yes. So you know the percentage. You know that this vehicle is 2004, and then 17 years. So if it is a saloon car, when I come, I'm going to pay an overhead penalty of 20%. You know. If it is a van, you know that you pay 10%. If it's a truck, you know that you pay 10%. So you know the differences. So people to try, and then they'll go to the GRA website. It's there. The information is there. You go there, yes, because the law is even there. If you want to have anything to do with the law, the same overhead penalty, you go there, you find it in the schedule attached to the law, which you can easily get from Assembly Press. Right. Because it's not a private document, it's a public document. So it's easily procured, yes. Right. So these are the basic things we do.
Right. Yes. This is Iron Port here on Metropolitan Television. Tonight we are discussing uncustomed vehicles in our society and what you need to do if you are a person who is driving one or you intend to acquire one. We're telling you what you need to do. And we're discussing the matters with Mr. Justice Njoman Maga Yajayim, who is supervisor at the Vehicle Valuation Unit at the Customs Technical Services Bureau. We'll be back shortly.
GOIL makes good things happen. This time, GOIL has introduced Super XP Ron 95, a higher grade fuel loaded with additives and yet sold at the same price as normal fuel. GOIL Super XP Ron 95 enhances engine performance like never before. It maintains the engine by keeping it clean from carbon deposits. GOIL Super XP Ron 95 is designed to burn slowly and thus improves fuel economy, making you save money after several kilometers. GOIL Super XP Ron 95 gives you a smooth driving experience, that is, less vibrations. Fill up with GOIL Super XP Ron 95. Now there's no need to pay more for any higher grade fuel. GOIL has that sorted. GOIL, good energy.
Electricity, pay your taxes. Our taxes, our future.
Because you see, without our taxes, we wouldn't have good roads, good schools, better hospitals, street lights, and other very important social amenities. When we pay our taxes, we give our children free and quality education. Talga, my money too small. Why should I pay my tax? Look, small. Salifo, it doesn't matter how small or big your business or income is. You still have to pay your taxes. The little taxes from each and every one of us, when put together, could give your community clean water or that deprived school with tables and chairs. Please pay your taxes. It is your responsibility. It is your civic duty. It is the law.
All right, so you're welcome back. We'll go straight to some messages. And this one says, what time would the ICOMS generate the clearance details by inputting chassis numbers, as he said? And this one also says, if our borders are porous, as these frontier stations, as you have admitted, what is being done to make these entry points robust so others can't take advantage while others follow proper costly procedures? And what are some of the punishments meted out to those making business from uncustomed vehicles?
Usually, customs, we are interested in the goods or the vehicles. So when the vehicle is arrested, once we take it from you, if you come forward to demand for restoration, then you are supposed to pay a penalty on it, which which is from 300% upward. So it's so much.
Right.
If failure to which it is auctioned. Yes. With the borders being porous, then the processes are in place to post a number of officers there to beef out the numbers so that they are able to patrol along the borders and then make sure that these things don't occur. So these are the things that are done. As for the borders being porous, they've been there for a long time. Yes. So what we are doing to beef up numbers to ensure that people don't get through. Yes.
Trained.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
All right, this one says, can our guest explain more about the Freeport narrative we hear about Togo? Does that mean even Togolese people don't pay duty when they import vehicles?
Togo, they pay. The duty rate in Togo, our system is different from what happens in Togo. In our system, we have the various rates. Let's say import duty 5%, VAT 12.5%. You have NHIL with 2.5%, Get Farm 2.5%, ECOWAS levy, which is 0.5%, Exim 0.75%. You see, we have different. But Togo, they have lumped it up.
All right.
So they just have one rate, which is 53.5%, which they levy.
53.5% of what?
They use the CIF.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So,
cost insurance.
So that's how they do it. But ours here is different.
Right.
Every tax and the tax base. That is the tax base means how it is calculated, the amount it is calculated on. You see, but theirs they've lumped them up. So if you compare our rate to theirs, ours is lower. Right. But the difference is in the calculation, how it is calculated. Yes, that's where the difference is.
Right.
And if you look at the Freeport is nothing new. Is something they have just created a space in the port where all vehicles which come to that place are not deemed for usage in Togo.
Right.
So if you go and buy such a vehicle and you want to use it in Togo, you still have to pay the 53.5%.
Yeah.
You see, but if you are taking it out, then you need to go and process from security, that's the national security unit.
Right.
And then through customs, and then it is escorted to Aplau or wherever. If it's in Burkina or wherever, it's taken to the border, escorted. Then the customs in Ghana will process it, and then you pay the duty on it.
Right.
So basically, that's what happens. Yes.
Okay. This one says, please, what is the short code for verifying whether the customs duties for a vehicle was duly paid? The 1477 for checking the duty paid is not working now.
That one was with the GSNet system.
Okay.
1477.
Like you said, they are now developing one for
they are now
icons.
developing one for the icons.
Okay.
So
all right.
That
one says, good evening. It will be strange if there are no insiders aiding the uncustomed vehicles. I think the customs should be frank on the issue and tackle the problem from all angles. This one is from Joseph Bowers, Taifa, Burkina.
No, you don't need an official to be involved in this. Somebody is doing his business.
Yeah.
He decides that there are rules. And once he satisfies the rule, because I said that this TVI, temporary vehicle importation regime, when you are availing yourself to use it, it has to start from another ECOWAS country and then end up there.
Right.
So the person comes, he has a driver's license, which is a requirement. He has a logbook, or ownership card, which entitles him to the vehicle. He has the insurance policy, and the insurance policy on it, unfortunately, it's only third party.
Right.
You see, the insurance policy is a third party to cater for accidents when they are in the member state. Yes, and then maybe the person is holding a cane, which is acceptable by all member countries of ECOWAS. So when the person satisfies these conditions, as a customs officer, what will you have against such a person to say that you won't allow him to come in? But when they come in, that is when they determine what to do. Others come in genuinely, others don't. You see, but the fact that they satisfy the conditions of entry, we cannot stop them. There's no official connivance because no customs officer will go into Togo or Nigeria and go and try to get the logbook for somebody to come in. No, they do it themselves. Yes, and they know the law. So once they understand the law and they know that these are the requirements of the law, they fulfill it.
Yeah.
So ours is to ensure that when they are inside, they leave when they are supposed to leave.
Yeah.
Yes. So that is why it's on the system where they are able to check and see who has gone out, who has not gone. And then the details speak. Those who are still inside, the details speak, and they are able to locate them and arrest the vehicles. Yes.
Okay. This one says, say, please, previously there was a code 1477 that you can check before purchasing a car that makes it convenient to the buyers. But since ICOMS, okay, I think you have explained that, so that one has been tackled. Sorry to ask, how come we are being charged for get fund levy at the port? Well, the one that sent in this message, this one is no making of the port authority or any other agency operating in the port. It's a government,
it's a government policy.
I mean,
and the
just like you pay NHIS,
for a purpose.
Absolutely.
Yes. So
yes.
once they were created for a purpose, it was deemed fit to levy on imports, such that that amount will be given to get fund for them to
infrastructure
undertake
development,
their
education, whatever they're supposed to do. Yeah. All right, please, I want to ask the officer, I do get an auction car to buy as an ordinary Ghanaian, and what would the process be like? Okay, he's asking as an ordinary Ghanaian, how does he access an auction vehicle
Okay,
to buy?
auction, what happens is that they are gazetted. And then when they are gazetted, the gazette comes out within 14 days. They have a 14-day grace period where the owners can still come and then they will apply for restoration. When you see the gazette within 14 days, if you don't come beyond that, they always published dates for the auction.
Right.
At various points, whether in Tema, in Accra, in Takoradi, at the airport barracks, they always publish.
Right.
So you have to be looking out for the publications on when the auction will be conducted. When you go there, they have an amount, they have a reserve amount, to which they will have to, which we call reserve price, which they have to sell. At least they don't have to sell the auction vehicle below that.
Yeah.
So anyone who comes out with a price, either the reserve price or beyond the reserve price, yes, you are given the vehicle to buy.
All right.
Yes.
This one says, I'm Kofi from Adenta. Why should the customs seize uncustomed cars and auction it very cheap for themselves or people they know, instead of reducing either the duty or the penalty on uncustomed vehicles for Ghanaians to own cars easily?
No.
Do you auction the cars yourself?
No. This is a misinformation.
People you know.
Per our law.
Yeah.
And even if you look at the code of conduct for public officers, we are not supposed to go and bid for any auction. When customs is doing any auction, a customs officer cannot do that. It's against our rules. So we don't auction the vehicles to ourselves. The vehicles are usually auctioned to the public. It's an open auction. So he might have to make time and attend one of them and see how it's done. An auctioneer is appointed, and then he comes in with a list, and then he's supposed to auction them. Sometimes we also have customs officers who are doing the auction themselves. Yes, they are mandated to do it.
Yeah.
Yes. So for us auctioning the vehicles to us, no. I've never bought an auction car
before.
No, never.
All right.
Never in my life.
All right. All right. So at this juncture, my producer has told me we can activate the phone lines for you to phone in and contribute to the discussion. The number to dial is right on your screen. Is 020-552-8353. 020-552-8353. You can call in and contribute to the discussion. Now, this one says, please, good evening, sir. I bought a used car and sent the documents to customs for checking, and the officer in charge told me there was details, and later I got there again and I met a lady officer, and she was able to, and met a lady officer, and he was able to get information about the car, and that she told me it was not, that they have a platform. Your message is not coherent. She told me that was not. They have two platforms they are engaging now. I need explanation on such development.
Okay, what happened?
Do you understand what the fellow is trying to? I think that's coming from Hafiz. Hafiz is also sending the message from Adenta.
Yes. So what happens is that all the vehicles who were cleared under GCNet system, if you go to an officer who doesn't have access to the GCNet system, he cannot check for you. So if you pay duty on the GCNet system, you get to he can't check unless those who have access. And then for those who want to register the vehicles that declared under the GCNet system, you are supposed to migrate the declaration from that system to the new system.
Okay.
Because it is only the new system that DVLA has access to. So when you are able to do that, you do that to customs. You use an agent who cleared it. So he's able to put in the GCNet declaration.
Yeah.
Then when it gets to, it to come to, I also work on something.
Yes.
It gets to us, the supervisor will look at it, and then when he's okay, he just approves it.
Right.
And then you're able to get a copy from the agent, and then you go to pay.
Okay.
So that is the difficulty they have.
Okay.
For those which were cleared under the GCNet system. Yes.
Okay. All right. We'll come back, but let's go on to the phone lines. Phil Mens is there. Good evening, sir.
Good evening, sir.
Thank you very much indeed for calling in. Please, Flo.
Ken, how are you doing?
I'm terrific, by His grace. Thanks for asking.
Yeah. Greet my boss is Justice. Greeting for me, Justice.
All right, he can hear you.
Yes, yeah, sir. I want to find out from customs, why is it that you are unable to give us the data that you use to determine the HGV values for vehicles duty calculation? You know, for those that come from Canada and the US, we have the NADA, we are able to determine, cross-check when you give us the value. But those coming from Europe and Asia, we find it difficult to accept the HGVs that you give us because we don't have any data to check. Because, you know, for trade, you know, for vehicles and then arrangement by trade laws, Ghana, our own is different. Normally, it's the importer who's supposed to give you the FOB value. But in our case, for vehicles, it's different. You are giving us HGV from where the manufacturer is. But here, we find it difficult because we don't have any data to confirm, to cross-check what you have given us. So why is that customs will not make that data available for public use? For those who are importing vehicles, to be able to have access to this data to know. Because, you know, for the ICOMS duty calculator, it is not all vehicles that you go to the system that you can get. There are a lot of vehicles, when you enter the chassis, you are not getting any result. By the make and model, you are not getting any result. So why is it that customs will not give us this data so that in the spirit of fairness and integrity, when we are importing, we go to the system, we know that this is the actual data customs is using. So you take the HDV, you do your calculation, you know this is where you arrive at. When you come and customs give you, you can challenge it. But today, it is not like that. So I want to find out from Justice, my big boss.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much indeed, Phil Mens from Tema.
Okay, I think nothing has changed. Previously, what used to happen is what is happening. For those vehicles, you mentioned those vehicles from Canada and US.
Yes.
You can buy the software, you can buy the books, the hard copies of those vehicles from Canada and US.
Right.
But for those vehicles from Europe and other places where he has mentioned, they are having an intellectual property right. We subscribe to them, and we cannot on our own distribute them to people. Because if you need it, you have to subscribe. That is according to the intellectual property. Yes. You can't infringe on copyright laws and say that you have acquired it, and then the copyright law says you cannot share it with other people, but you go sharing it.
Yeah.
So that is the problem, the difficulty we have. So if he wants, then he will have to also go and subscribe. But for those from Canada and US, it's so easy to get. Even they buy them from the open market in the US. If you know anybody in US, they can easily buy. But for the Europeans and others, they are different. So that's why it is only in our system, but you can't share it because that will mean that we are breaking some laws because they have used their brains to sit there and do things, and then you go sharing to people. It doesn't work that way.
Okay, so let's go on to the phone lines again and welcome Elijah from Kumasi. Good evening, sir. Good evening, Elijah. Elijah, are you there?
Hello?
Okay, I understand he's gone off. So, yes, this one says, please ask the officer about electric vehicles and their duties less because are their duties less because of emissions and like?
No, I think I explained this issue some time ago.
Yes.
See, one, the electric vehicles, they are very expensive. In terms of cost, they are more expensive than those which use fuel. You see, that's one. Two, I explained the last time that when the common external tariff was coming in, ECOWAS common external tariff, it was coming in, the government had to use the import tax adjustment measure, which was put there to allow member countries, to just increase the duty very high for all vehicles and goods. It was looked at such that they will allow member countries to gradually increase the import duty. But there was a limit.
All right, you will come to the limit.
Yes.
Let's go and welcome from Takoradi, Williams. Hello, good evening, Williams.
Good evening.
Thank you very much indeed, sir. Please flow.
Please, I would just want to ask if there is a car at a port that the rightful owner of those cars couldn't pay the duties and they auction the cars to the general public. Does it mean that when they do the auction, then those who are buying it, are they also doing the duty or they don't do the duty? They just buy the car and send it to their various houses.
Okay, all right. He would respond. I think
Yes.
you've
With
answered
auction,
there, but you can...
with auction, they calculate a reserve price. And then the reserve price will take care of the duties that were supposed to be paid on it with a margin.
Right.
Yes, so that's how it's calculated. So when you are giving a bulk amount to go and pay, let's say 20,000, it means that it has taken care of the duties that the owner was supposed to pay. And then with a margin on it. So that's how it's done.
Okay.
So they pay and you don't look at it as duty, it's an amount they have paid, auction price.
Right.
Yes.
While we wait for the next caller, let's go back to the electric car.
Yes, so with the import tax adjustment measure, which was to make it flexible for member countries to implement the ECOWAS common internal tariff by increasing the duties gradually, because under trucks, all trucks were supposed to be 10%. All vehicles which fall under Chapter 8703, which are the saloons, the SUVs, they were all supposed to be 20%.
Okay.
And then the vans, buses were supposed to be 10% across board.
Right.
So what was done was that for those vehicles around that time in 2015, which were predominant, which people were using, a lot of people were using, the government selected those ones.
Right.
You see, so this one, which remained 20%, electric vehicle, last time we didn't have electric vehicles.
Right.
So that one remained 20%, it was not touched.
Right.
So the rate, the ECOWAS common external tariff rate is what
it's still applicable.
Yes, it's what is applying now. Yes.
All right, we're still going to the Ashanti region, and we're welcoming this time around Richard. Hello, good evening, sir.
Yes, sir. My problem is I live in US and they do the auction, but it's done online. So everybody or anybody who is outside the state of Texas can apply to. So why is it that Ghana here can't we do it online? So people in Tamale or Boko can also sign on it and bid on it. Then you have to come to the auction place. You know, we have to make things easy for everybody. So if all government auctions can be done online, you don't have to be there personally. You sign on it, you pay all that you need to pay. You have to put down the deposit.
Yeah.
So you bid on it, you win, you come down and pick up your item.
Yeah.
That will make it easy for everybody. And this one, if you do it that way, nobody can make any kululu.
Yeah.
Whereby they can get money from somebody and give the item to the person.
Right.
You know,
Richard, your point.
Do it online. Nobody is seeing. There's no any human interface.
Yeah.
And that will make it easy for everybody, and it's for the whole country. It's not for only people in Tema or Takoradi.
Richard, thank you very much. And your point is well noted. But I think that one of the new modules that's going to be rolled out by ICOMS, there's going to be e-auction.
Yes.
And so auctions are going to go, digital pretty shortly. And so very soon you'll be having auctions online. And so you can be in London and, the only problem is that you might be there and then, win the auction and then have to come and buy it, pick it and put on a truck and take to your mechanics before you are able to drive it to the house. Anyway. All right, so you can also still give us a call. I'm told. Hello? All right, okay. So this one says, Sir Justice, this is your son, Isaac of the Ghana Institute of Journalism, GIJ. Say, I'm actually enjoying the education you are giving to us. I think I have learned a lot, and I would know what to do when I want to purchase a vehicle. I think you have a small boy at GIJ who's watching you at the moment. This one says, my name is Gershon from Accra. I would like to thank you for the eye-opening information to us. I have a question. Can uncustomed vehicles be seen registered? Can uncustomed vehicle be seen registered? Thus, well, I think it's just a straightforward question.
What happens is that, what he's trying to say is that...
Yes, before you answer it, yes. I'll take Gilbert. Hello, good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Yes.
I want to ask that why is it that only some of the officers have access to...
Gabby, can you speak up a bit, please? Gabby?
Hello?
Respectfully, can you speak up a bit, please?
Okay. I'm asking that why is it that it's only some officers who have access to a database to check vehicle and custom vehicles? We now know that the borders are very porous.
Okay.
We now know that the borders are very porous, and we have patrol bases inland. Why is it that it is not given to most of the preventive officers so that when they meet these vehicles at the patrol bases, they can equally check if the borders are porous? Why is it that only few officers have access to it?
All right. Okay. I think you can.
Yes, this issue of extending it to others. Usually, when you are starting something, you look at your strength and look at how to go about it. I know for OT region, they also started a similar thing in OT region. So gradually, it will be extended and to other places. I know they've been doing that. They've been going on arrests, along the Tinjasi, through Pasa area there. Yes, a lot of them go through there. So they've been trying to. Yes.
All right. All right. So you were on this issue of whether an uncustomed vehicle can be registered.
Yes. If you see any uncustomed vehicle with a document, it's fake. Simple. It's fake. And they will find a number plate and put on it.
Right.
As for making a number plate so easy. I think some time ago there was this Vasa where they put two vehicles.
Yeah, sure.
Vehicles.
Exactly. Yeah, sure.
Yes.
The same.
So they will definitely, that's what they will do.
Yeah.
So they look at the vehicle which has been registered with the document, scan it, and then they put the same number on it. Yes. So they've been doing it. Anytime you see it's fake.
Okay.
Yes.
Please, your guest said those people who deals in cars are the people who do the tampering before doing sales to people, and if they know them, what are they doing to them also? This one's from Mr. Palu.
No, these are not people who have registered as vehicle dealers.
Okay.
These are people who have decided that this is the business they will do to make a living. So those people, you won't find them anywhere that they are selling cars that you go to their place and pick it. No. You got no criminal who leave traces for easy arrest.
Absolutely.
So for them, that's the business they do undercover. Yes, they will not come openly to say that this is what they do. But for the vehicle dealers, those who deal their own vehicle, most of them go to Tema and Takrady. And you can't take a vehicle out of Tema or Takrady without paying duty. Because the manifest is there, which is a source document. And everything on the manifest has to be accounted for, including vehicles. So if he went through Tema or Takrady, it was not going to be possible for him to clear the vehicle without paying duty. It's not possible.
Right.
Yes.
Okay. Good evening, Mr. Host. Please, if you have a car which was uncustomed and you want to pay for the duties, will you still pay the penalty if you want to have it, regularized?
No. You see, in customs, when you have a vehicle and then you want to pay duty on it, once you present the vehicle yourself and tell customs that you want to pay, they don't put on, unless it's overage.
Right.
That one you pay the overage penalty and all other taxes. But once you go to customs and you declare that I have a vehicle, I want to pay duty on it, the taxes will be calculated for you to go and pay.
Right.
Yes.
Right. Okay. This one says, Mr. Mona, the officer has not answered the question on whether the one buying the auction vehicle will pay the same amount as the original owner. I think you answered that, but
yes, I answered it.
Yeah, he didn't. But you can just
What I said was that when the auction, before the auction, they calculate all the prices at which they will sell those vehicles. And the first thing they look at is the taxes which the owner should have been paid. So it will be taken account of all the taxes will be taken care of in the reserve price. And then there's even a margin on it.
Yeah.
There's a margin on it. It's not just sold looking at the tax. There's a margin put on it.
Right.
Yes.
Okay. This one says, good evening. This is George from Adenta. Please, I want to know how accurate is a vehicle valuation on the ICONS platform?
Oh, it's accurate.
Okay.
Yes, we have the database. It's even easier now to do it. Yes, so easy. The database is there. You go through the first. We didn't have the ECOWAS command external tariff in the database. Now we have first we're doing manual. Now it's there. You can just go and pick, and then classify the vehicle, and then get it valid.
This one says, good evening, Ken. Good evening, Justice from the CTSB. Please find out from Justice, why is it that the data that they use to determine the HDV of the vehicle is not available for public use? I'm saying this because apart from the vehicles that are coming from the USA and Canada that we are able to use the NADA to determine the HDV, those coming from Europe and Asia, we find it difficult to appreciate the HDV that customs give us from these countries. I know customs stand for fairness and integrity, but with HDV, customs give to us from those countries, there is no fairness. From these countries, there's no fairness. Well, this one is Fulmens once again. Okay, I think he called in earlier.
Yes, I think I've answered that.
Yes, yeah.
So I think the issue is that because of intellectual property rights, for those people who deal in these softwares, they take it seriously.
Yeah.
So customs cannot, or GRA cannot subscribe and then come and share, because that is not part of the contract.
Okay.
To go subscribe and share. When you subscribe, it is for your use.
Right.
But for those vehicles from Canada and the US, it's so easy to get those things.
Right.
Yes, they are on the open market.
Okay.
But those from Europe and it's not. So it's difficult to, if not impossible, to say that we have subscribed to software.
Okay.
Then we'll come and share to our other stakeholders.
All right. So we have tons of messages. Unfortunately, we're not going to be able to deal with all of that here. And so if you have not had your message read, please make a date on Wednesday and watch GTV. That's 8:30 p.m. for the abridged version, and your concerns will be addressed there. We have barely 1 minute to go. I just want you to look into the camera and then tell people who are using uncustomed vehicles, people who intend to buy these vehicles, what they need to be doing at the moment.
If you want to buy any vehicle...
This is your camera. Yes.
You want to buy any vehicle in Ghana, the document given you is not enough. You have to go and check with customs whether it was properly cleared through customs. If you are given the go-ahead, then you then go to pay. If it was not cleared through customs, you'll be told. Because everywhere in Ghana, whether the vehicle went through Paga, it went through Aflao, it went through Nive, Shia, it went through Osekojokrum, it is valued at head office.
Right.
We have a centralized valuation system. So everything is done at head office. So if you come and we check, and it is there, we'll tell you. And everywhere in customs where you have GCNet, like Aflao, when you go, the officers can check as well.
Right.
So it's not only head office. Everywhere we have the icons, they can easily check for you whether the vehicle went through customs.
Right.
Yes.
Very well. So this is how we draw the curtain on this week's edition of Iron Port here on Metropolitan Television. We'll say a very big thanks to Justice Njoman Maga Yajayim, who is a supervisor at the Vehicle Valuation Unit, Customs Technical Services Bureau. We've been discussing uncustom vehicles. We are grateful to you for joining us tonight. Very insightful, education there for the masses. And we thank you if you have joined us via text or call. We appreciate your time. I'm Kennedy Mona. And remember, God willing, next week we'll bounce back with another wonderful edition of Iron Port. Thanks to our sponsors, Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority, Ghana Revenue Authority, Goyle Company Limited, Serene Insurance, and Ghana Link Network Services. We wish you a super pink month. Stay safe.